You're listening to the Everything Went Black podcast.
Please welcome Dave Razor Eater Metal Berardi back to the podcast. Talk about a bunch of his new music coming out. He has the Blackened Noise project, Xezbeth, as well as Solipsis. You can check all that stuff out on Bandcamp. And definitely follow Dave at Razor Eater Metal on Instagram. If you're checking this show out, I urge you all to check out the other podcasts of the Horsemen of the Podcasting Apocalypse. Kicking everything off, we got Brandon Legion's Horror Wolf 666. Up next, Jackie Smith's Into the Necrosphere. Wednesday brings us Everything Went Black, which you're listening to right now, as well as Iblis Manifestations by Cheyenne of the band Trivax. And if you guys checked out our top 10 episode for 2025, Trivax figured pretty heavily in both of our lists. Thursday is Necro Thursday, where we have the Necromaniacs Horror Podcast, as well as Day 1 of Soul Knox with Carl Hikara. Friday, Spitball Media comes at you, an irreverent pop culture podcast. Saturday is a day off, but Sunday, Carl returns with Day 2 of Soul Knox. Carl and I have finished all of the Kane short stories and novels, and we're moving on to some other pastiche work that Carl Edward Wagner has done. And of course, we cover all that stuff on our collaboration known as Darkness Weaves. I thank everyone for listening. I appreciate it. If you want to support the show, aside from just listening and sharing on social media, you can join the Everything Went Black Patreon. For as little as $1 a month, you get bonus material. $5 a month, you get bonus material, plus early access to the shows. And for $25 a month, you can become a sponsor. Welcome back, Dave. It's an equally frigid morning where you are and where I am. So, you know,
man, gotta love it, right?
It reminds me of the night that we actually met in person.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Weird. What month was that? Was that February or March?
It wasn't. It was probably February, I think. Yeah.
No. Yeah.
It
was a weird, it was plus 15 Celsius that day, and it was like sunny out, and I'm like, this is cool. And then by the time your guys' show finished, and I helped you load out, we we ran back inside as soon as we could. It was so fucking cold.
Yeah, it was brutal. But that's what today reminds me of this morning. So it's timely that you and I are reconnecting.
Well, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah. But you got a lot of projects going on, and I just want to talk about all that stuff,
Yeah.
Of course, the last time you we were talking about Xezbeth, and so there's new material in the works for that too, right?
I've got new material in the works. I put out the album was called The Father, the Forsaken Son, and the Holy Spirit last year. The month is escaping me because I haven't actually checked back in on it in a while. So that's been out. That was a really personal release for me. And this new one's kind of just going back to just, all of the way that I kind of started out with the first release, just, the anti-religious, anti-Christian kind of vitriolic hate speech that I want to just spew forth.
Vitriolic hate speech. I like that. Yeah.
But yeah. So the one that I put out last year it was more of a like a therapy session for me to put that out. I was dealing with a lot of the grief of losing my dad, things like that. So I put that out personal, but I also, I put like a little thing on my Bandcamp that said, if anybody feels this way, like this record's for you too. So it was really helpful for me, really cathartic to do that. And now I just get back to just the straight up angry, noisy black metal stuff. Has been fun too.
It's important to have an outlet for stuff like that, man. Definitely. Yeah. Just grief and loss and all those things that could consume people, especially when it's someone that's close to you, like a father, or a direct family member. And the sort of refuge of going back to something like that to work on and to have a goal throughout all that also addresses a lot of those feelings too is really important. And it's good that you had that,
Yeah, I my father and I had a pretty you could say it was a roller coaster of a relationship throughout the years. Like we loved each other and everything like that, but there was times where we could be at each other's throats, and there's always that that what if when someone like that passes, what if we could have done this? What if we could have said that to each other? What if we did this differently? You know what I mean? Um, and instead of like tearing myself up about it personally and lashing out at maybe in a bad way, I decided to try to channel that into the release, and it was really helpful. I had never experienced that before, actually. So
Yeah, no, it's definitely a positive place to put the energy instead of, people deal with grief in very different ways, and especially losing like a close family member like that. Like, they could, you read about grief and how people deal with it. And sometimes it's like, you have to give yourself an entire year to like process all this stuff and, assimilate it into your life. And I think that having a creative outlet is probably kind of expedites that process a little bit because you get to have a catharsis, and emotional catharsis is something that you can't go out in the middle of the street and like scream, at the top of your lungs, really, even though maybe I've done something like that before in my life, or sat in
yeah,
my car and screamed or whatever. But it's like, but that's it's good to have that, and then you have something like you have like almost like a monument to them when it's done,
yeah,
even if
yeah,
even if only it, even if it's only something in your to you that's a monument to that person, and it's maybe not obvious to other people that exists though, and I think that's important.
yeah, exactly. No, I agree. Um, yeah, so that one's special, and now everything's pretty much done. I'm just gonna tweak my vocals a little bit, and then the new one should be seeing the light of day. I'm gonna send things off to Matt in March when he's a little less busy, because we all know Matt Prizzo is the busiest man on the face of the earth when it
Oh
comes to
yeah, man,
music and art. So,
dude, I don't know how that guy gets so much done, honestly.
oh, he was telling me because I said, like, are you game to, be my co-conspirator again with this stuff? And I'll send you some song titles. I'll send you some stuff, and you just do your thing like you've been doing for me. And he's like, I've got 20 paintings on the go. I've got this, I've got that, and I'm recording. And I'm like, dude, there's no rush at all. I don't trust anybody but you right now with my
Yeah.
stuff. So, whenever you're free and available to do it, I want you to be in my corner again. So, like, don't worry about any rushing anything or, you know.
Matt's the man.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, yeah, I had a great experience with Matt. Well, a couple of great experiences, really. I mean, but more recently, he mixed and mastered the Scorpion Throne 2 EP
That's
that we
right. Yeah,
just
yeah,
did.
yeah. Yeah, which is excellent, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Yeah,
Congrats. Yeah.
thanks. Yeah, I think we have a full length in us at some point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I think we're gonna try to play a show this year, actually.
Oh, nice. That'd be
Yeah,
killer.
yeah, like later in the year. It wasn't even my idea to do that. It was like Mike, the bass player, was like, "Yeah, we should play some shows." And I'm like, "Yeah, I don't know, man. Maybe you think so." And then the idea kind of grew in me, and I was thinking about how I probably want to involve some other people because there's obviously you need two guitars on that, because there's
Oh,
always
yeah, for sure.
layers.
Yeah.
So like, oh yeah, maybe he'll get the, I already got Paul from Restless Spirit. He signed on board to do it. So.
Oh, killer. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
that dude rips. That dude's a shredder, man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so that'd be cool to, and also it's like a good excuse just to hang out with my friends, and play music and stuff too.
Of course, man. Yeah, I'm sure there'll be a show you can pop on or set
Yeah,
something up.
totally. Yeah, Mike plays in a band called Replicant, who we're going out doing some dates with them in the next
I
month.
saw that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's awesome. I've known him for a really long time, and he's kind of like the guy who knows all of the places to play and promoters and specific people you know, like super specific, like underground promoters. Like shows happen all over New Jersey that I never hear some of these places. They're like, and
Yeah.
he knows all those guys. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's
So
killer. Yeah.
yeah, and Andrew Hernandez used to be in Tombs, so he'll be coming down to play drums, and you know,
Oh, that's awesome, man.
I think that's going to be the lineup, really. So
That'll be killer. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Keep me
yeah,
posted on that.
hell yeah,
Yeah.
totally. But yeah, so you mentioned like the anti-Christian sentiment, and it's really hard to be an anti-Christian these days. I mean, it's really easy
Right.
rather to be an anti-Christian these days.
Yeah.
And
Um,
let me ask you a question though. Like I know down here in the United States, like Christian nationalism is like on the rise. It's like this plague down here. And how is it in Canada?
um, I don't pay attention to it, but then sometimes there's things that I see, maybe on the socials or just walking about. Like I don't work like in the town that I live in. I
Uh-huh.
commute. So you see it more so in like places on the outskirts of the city, like because I'm near Ottawa, right? So the further you get into the city, you kind of see shit like that. Um, and especially with all the goings on in the world today, everyone's focused on um, it's like we have our own problems in Canada too. And
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
everyone's like talking about Trump this and Trump that, and I'm like, look, I get it. That more power to you for condemning shit like that too. But like, we got to think about what's going on over here. Like, I remember during the pandemic, there was a lot of um, just there was a certain point where shit I just thought like crossed the line. As far as like beliefs and people believing in conspiracy theories and all this shit. And when you're trying to throw God into it as well, I'm just like I can't. I'm logging off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
um, people push it, man. I even in my small town, I I I think I told you before. I worked at a venue, and I remember promoting a show for the band Anvil, who we all know and love.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I'm putting posters up, and I'm going to the same location like a few days later, and there's this little pamphlet stuck up next to one of my posters, and it says if you're seeking God or something like what was stupid like call this number for God hotline, and I'm like,
Yeah.
really in my little town, and you're gonna condemn Anvil,
Yeah.
like
Who's
one
like
of the least satanic bands out there.
I know,
You know what I
totally,
mean?
right? Yeah, they're like a good
So
time, like, play like good party band almost,
they have like one song called 666, and that's it, and
Yeah.
it's not even. I don't know. I'm just like I was so done with it by that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm always curious about that because, obviously I've been to Canada a number of times but I don't pick up on the same vibe that I do in the States, especially like in certain areas of the States with this just that Christian fundamentalism that I see down here. And that in Europe, it's that's an American thing or a North American thing, like this
Yeah,
Christian fundamentalism, this
yeah,
like very specific strain of Christianity and reality that it who's to blame for that is actually the Roman Empire, really. It's like seriously, dude. It's like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
the ideas of Christ, Jesus Christ, if who was one of many different guys wandering that part of the world, preaching, this sort of populist religion. That the teachings of Christ are way different than like what Christians have like filtered it into now. And that's like all that snake handling and like speaking in tongues and, fucking mega churches. That's like something that's only here in North America, man. That's like,
No, yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
We
that's like,
don't we don't have I don't think we have anything to that extent, but like we don't have a quote unquote Bible belt, things like that.
yeah,
But yeah, like there's still definitely people like that. Um, you come across here and there, and especially the ones that want to like try to call out the government and they try to bring that into it as well.
yeah,
They try to bring religion into it, and it's like no, like this is politics. Stop bringing religion into it. This has nothing to do with it. We have problems that we need to face ourselves as a people. We need to like stop bringing all these outside forces into it. Like you're focusing on the wrong thing. You know what I mean? So,
yeah. No, totally. So you still using the same equipment to make all this stuff? Or you have any updates on your gear?
I've been trying to do some like field recording stuff, just using my phone mic,
Really?
things like that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And learning how to like kind of like I wouldn't say master because I'm never gonna master like a keyboard or anything like that, but just keeping my hands, busy instead of just like trying to program things to sound a certain way. So there's a lot of there's some synthy stuff
Okay.
kind of like hidden in the background with all the noise stuff that's going on with this too. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's awesome, man. Yeah, there's a movie I saw last year called Rabbit Trap that was on my top six. Have you checked that out? Have you seen that?
No, I haven't. I need to check that out. It was on the list. I
Yeah,
need to check it out.
it was that one was like sort of under the radar for a while last
Is it
year,
on
and
Shutter or anything?
not yet.
No.
I
Okay.
think I had to rent that one, but I
Okay.
heard
Gotcha.
about it, and it's got Dev Patel in it, who I like him as an actor,
Okay. Yeah.
and the story is basically like him and his wife. His wife is like like a this ambient musician composer,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and it's all about recording like ambient sounds and found sounds out in the field recordings
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
out in the countryside in the UK. So it's like this right up my alley. I'm like, oh, dude, this is great. And
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, so if
I
you're
like that.
if you're getting into like field recordings and stuff, definitely check this out, man. It's
Oh, I
cool.
definitely. Yeah. Definitely. No,
Yeah,
I love when artists do that. Like even when Matt said like he went into that, what was it, a silo and did some recording with that.
yeah.
It's cool when they incorporate it, and then maybe you tweak the levels a little bit so it sounds a little distorted or whatever. Like I think that's pretty cool.
Also, there's an element to that where it's like almost like stream of consciousness writing or something where you kind of like you you let your brain like pick a location to do these things. I mean, I would imagine. I don't know. It's like I feel like you're just kind of like using pulling order from chaos in some ways. You know what I'm trying to
Yeah,
say?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So on a theoretical like level, I think that stuff's really cool. I'm trying to do a bit of that myself too, actually.
yeah. I heard you say that. Yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing some of that.
Yeah, it's some of the it's a you're a guitar player, so it's like a good exercise, I think, to get away from maybe the structure of playing guitar
Yeah,
and go into this more like sort of you know uh instinctual level, this instinctual space of creating music, right?
yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, I agree. I think that's one of the things that excited me when I first started trying to do this stuff with Xezbeth and branching out and just like trying to program obnoxious drums for the gore noise stuff that I've been doing as well. Um, Getting away from the, not that I don't absolutely love playing my guitar, um, but I think it's cool to like have that other outlet,
No,
like you
totally.
were saying. So, and it's just another extension of the stuff that I love. I'm just basically just paying tribute to, Merzbow and Masana and Anal Birth and all those noisy stuff that I like.
Yeah, I actually saw Merzbow and Masana perform on a bill together like I don't know 20 something years ago.
That's
And I
awesome.
never ever I didn't even I never I only knew the names. It was like I was living in Boston and I was working at Newbury Comics in the warehouse and so all the records and stuff come through there and like
Yeah.
there's the people that work there's always like a specialist in each style of music works there, like in the packing boxes. So it's like this guy was like the weird noise dude, he actually turned me on to black metal to be honest. And
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
yeah, one of the factors contributing to my black metal journey back in the 90s. And the Merzbow, it's like some release of Merzbow came out, and I remember
Yeah.
seeing that, and the logo looks cool, and there's like the cool artwork and everything, and I was just like, oh, this band's playing, they're playing, in this venue down in the city. So, and it was with this guy Masana, and I was like, we went, and you know, it was like it definitely changed the way I thought about music because it's complete chaos, but there's like this order inside of that where you
Yeah.
know that they're doing something, but only they really know what the procedure is. You know what I mean?
And it's mesmerizing at the same time to see some of
Yeah.
this stuff. Did Merzbow have a crazy setup like he usually does?
I mean, it was just him and like all this gear on a table basically.
Yeah.
And I've
Yeah.
seen
There's
Merzbow
this.
perform with more of like a band setting too.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
with a
yeah. Because I know
drummer and yeah,
he collabs. He's collabed with bands like Full of Hell and stuff like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
But there's a set on YouTube where there's a boiler room set, and it's nothing. It's like wires and different boards and stuff like that. He even has like this thing that looks like a banjo, but it's like this coil thing. And he just goes like this, and this static just goes. It's crazy, the setup. So, and
Yeah.
that was pretty. That was inspiring and like pretty life changing. Like I didn't get noise at first. I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
Like it's noise. That's literally what it is. But then when you see like how certain artists produce it, that I find that very inspiring.
I feel like that's noise as a genre is better to see it live than listen to the records sometimes. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like I own I remember I was buying like, all this noise stuff in the 90s and I was like, I don't ever listen to these records. And it's like I'll go see it live because it's an experience, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's like cool to have and you're like, all right, the artwork, the packaging looks cool and so someone's going through your record collection. Oh, well, you like Masana. It's like, oh yeah, yeah, I do. It's like
Yeah.
you seem a little more interesting, you know what I mean, if you have these records in your collection.
He's I know he's wild live too. And
Yeah,
he's
dude, he was
notorious
going
for like
crazy when I saw
yeah.
him, man.
And
Yeah.
I know he'll do like sometimes he'll do like a 5 minute set and then just walk off stage
Yeah, I
and
heard
shit
of
like
that
that.
too. Yeah. Only that one time for Masana, but I've seen Merzbow a few times, like, and it's each time is different, completely different,
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, it's an interesting genre, you know what I mean? Do you ever check out White House?
Yeah, yeah, based on your recommendation, yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Now White House, little different. Definitely, if you're easily triggered, definitely don't check out White
I
House.
know what you're saying, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so just as a recommendation, be advised that if you're easily triggered by misconduct, let's say, definitely do not check out White House. But because there's vocals in the music itself, it's like easier to grab onto it a little bit, I think.
Yeah.
And then live, I saw them one time live with Pig Destroyer opening for them.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was in Brooklyn, like probably like maybe a long time, maybe 20 years ago, man.
Yeah.
And it was just the two guys. They came out on stage. Everything was on laptops, which kind of bummed me out a little bit,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
right? Because everything's already done, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But it still was an incredible show. And they were just one guy was running the samples and laptop stuff, and then I forgot the dude's name, but the main dude was singing or vocalizing,
Yeah.
and it was exactly like it was on the records. So that's kind of cool too.
Yeah, yeah. I've never I needed like Ottawa doesn't really get like noise shows. But it would be cool to check something like that out in person. I've always wanted to.
Have you performed live with Xezbeth yet or
No,
anything?
I haven't. No, I don't know if I ever would. I don't know. I don't know if I could handle that. I no, because I would really have to like. I think I'd have to like find some sort of like different kind of me to come out on stage. I don't know. I'd have to. There's a certain vulnerability I think that would have to come out if I was going to perform live for sure.
I
Um, and I don't know if
recommend.
how I could translate that. I don't know. I have thought about it for sure, but
I totally recommend doing it, man. I just think
yeah.
that it's the next step for what you're doing, honestly.
Well, I
You know,
appreciate that coming
yeah.
from you. Yeah.
So, not so people don't think I'm a poser. The guys from White House, it's William Bennett is like the main dude.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah,
know the name. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. And just
I haven't listened to them in a while, but it is
yeah.
phenomenal stuff.
Quick aside is that Peter Sotos, the controversial felon author, briefly played in White House. And once again, if you're easily triggered, I do not recommend checking out any of Peter Sotos's written material. So
That's it, Mike. You're canceled.
yeah, he's canceled for sure, man. But I actually know Peter
Oh
fairly
yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I forgot we met. I think at a show in Philly because he was doing his thing live, and my old bass player turned me on to his writing, and there was, he got like, he's, caught up in this like, child pornography thing, which is
Oh
like
shit.
all the
Yeah.
rage these days. You know what I mean? Like all these,
Apparently, yeah. All
these
these
like
fucking
rich
dudes.
white guys are into that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's kind of, he's definitely a controversial guy, but I remember reading his work and I was like, man, if this dude had chosen another path of creativity, he would be like a Pulitzer Prize winning like journalist because he's that good of a writer. You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
he
yeah.
chose this other route in his life, and he's a pariah essentially.
Gotcha. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh
I mean,
shit.
he himself is not a pedophile, but the the atmosphere around his writing is the subject matters. So,
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So
Dark shit.
anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, like he wasn't in like the Epstein files or anything like that. So
Apparently, Post Malone is, so I guess we're all thinking
really,
he's in there. I don't know. There's some sort of photo apparently was taken on Epstein Island. I don't know.
you
I
know
don't
what?
know.
Just we don't obviously I don't want to get too deep into that rabbit hole right now
No, of
because like
course.
people get just on my Instagram feed probably are sick of me posting about this shit, at least in my stories. But it's like, you know what's really funny to me is, and it's probably this is probably by design, was like QAnon and that whole like fantasy of this left-wing cabal of satanic pedophiles
Yeah,
literally is a projection of what the right wing is doing.
yeah,
It's like,
yeah, exactly.
I guess that's a diversion tactic of like take the things that you're doing bad, blame it on someone else first before the pendulum swings towards you.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
That's a tactic it's boom. It's like right there.
And the funniest thing is like I think is all these like conservative types they're terrified of trans people and people of color and as the ruination of Western society. But I don't see any trans people on the Epstein files. I see a lot of rich white guys.
Exactly.
They're,
Exactly.
yeah, it's like who the hell? It's like such a projection and such a weird, irony, in some ways.
Oh, I know. It's ridiculous, and it's gonna keep going, and it's unbelievable, man. Some of this stuff, and then I'm seeing stuff now where there's a conspiracy saying that this guy that looks like Epstein was spotted in Tel Aviv with all the security around him and stuff like that. He's just got long hair and a beard, and they're like, "Oh,
Could
it
be
looks
any,
pretty familiar.
it
Looks
could be
pretty
anybody,
familiar."
dude.
No,
You know
I
what I mean? It could be anybody. I know someone sent me that too, and I was like, "Oh, Jim Morrison's alive." you know?
yeah, yeah. Anybody's gonna believe anything these days. Oh, it looks kind of like him. That must be him. So, oh,
So you have other projects going on that are in the works too.
I do. One of them, I ended up calling it Solipsis. Um, Matt and I did a split together, Intrafear, and we did 3 songs apiece. Um, and that's me, kind of like my dark wave, gothic, like my ode to like Sisters of Mercy and The Cure and stuff like that. Um, where I just used like my my garage band drum machine and I did some clean vocals and I was happy with how they turned out. A little harder to kind of like hone in because I had like this vision of how things wanted to sound. Um, but when it came out, I was really happy and I was happy to put it out with Matt and he did the
Yeah,
artwork for it and everything like that as well.
that's awesome, man. And also like, Solipsis is a cool title. It's like the
And that
word
was given.
itself.
He said he suggested it because I'm like, I don't know what to call this, dude. Like it's not like the Xezbeth. It's not like the gore noise and the chest burster stuff. I said like, is it 80s goth? I said it a little bit, I guess, but I really don't know what to call it. Like I don't want to call it something corny. Like Interfered sounds fucking cool.
Yeah, it sounds
And I
sick,
said
man.
and I said
Definitely.
like, if we're gonna like, I really want to do something together and put it out with you, but I'm like, I don't want to sound stupid. So, like, what do you think? And he's like, what about Solipsis? And I was like, oh, that sounds fucking cool.
Yeah,
So,
Matt's the idea, man, for sure. You know.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm really proud to put that out last year with him. And he's so good with creating like little promo videos for it and whatnot, you know?
He's a one-stop shop, that guy. He can do it all. Record, or sing, do all the instruments and write songs, artwork, promotion.
He sent off his tracks to me. He's like, "What do you think?" I'm like, "Well, this is fucking awesome. Like, you don't have to ask my opinion. Like, it's gonna be good." And I sent mine off like extra nervous. I'm like, what's Matt gonna think? Does it sound like shit? Hearing my clean vocals, do I sound like a fucking tool? but he's like, no, I dig it. So this is cool to like put it out together. So the record starts with his three and finishes off with mine.
Awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all on Bandcamp. You can like
Yeah, you
find
can
on
find that on
Bandcamp.
Bandcamp.
Cool.
It's not on any of the other streamers. I think we're just gonna keep it on Bandcamp. But yeah,
Yeah, like the term solipsis is cool because it's like, especially for a one man outfit like this, it's like the concept that the only thing that can be verified to truly exist is the self, or something like that. That's
yeah.
like the definition of it, or to be self-centered. It's like I remember Rollins put out like a book, The Solipsist, a number of years ago, like one of those
Okay, yeah, yeah,
books
yeah.
that he
I've
puts
never heard
out.
of it. Oh shit. Okay, I gotta check that
Yeah,
one out.
I have all of Henry Rollins' material, man.
I
It's like,
love his stuff. Yeah,
yeah, ever since I was like a young man, it kind of formed my opinions about a lot of things through reading, or the way I approach life, I think, is through reading a lot of his books, for better or for
yeah,
worse. You know what I mean? And yeah, he came out with a book called The Solipsist. And at the time, I didn't know the definition of the word. I was like, oh, this that sounds heavy, man. Like, what does this mean?
yeah, yeah.
Sure enough, it's like, it's a sick, like, awesome term for someone who probably spends a lot of time by themselves.
Yeah, I mean, it fit. I think it fit the mood, especially of what I was trying to capture with what I was doing with it,
Yeah.
and it came out cool. So yeah, I was like, yeah, and I'm very proud to like put it out with someone that I respect like Matt. So
Yeah. Yeah. I also do that Abraxas Horn project with him and Brandon.
yeah, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to that new stuff.
Yeah.
I
We're,
know
we're,
Brandon's working on it, and you're
yep.
working on it. Yeah.
Yep. There's, it's cool because I'm only singing on it. So it's, just writing lyrics and things.
Anything you can disclose so far?
It's still really coming together. Like, those guys are really just working on the instruments part, and it's going to have more guitar on it than the other stuff,
Oh,
which is
cool.
kind of
Yeah, yeah.
cool. Yeah. And I'm not playing any of the guitars. It's all Brandon based. I think Matt actually has a riff or two on it as well.
Stay. That's gonna be
Um,
awesome.
so it's kind of cool because then I just have the freedom to like work on, try to tell stories and things like that. So
No, I dig it.
yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's going to be my from what I can say about my contribution, it's going to have more of like a linear like narrative. I hope that's my plan at least.
Nice.
You know,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
Send that off to me whenever you can.
hell yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Brandon's the focal point on that
Oh
one.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, oh, yeah.
He's,
I'll bug Brandon
I'll
about
be
it.
like,
Yeah,
yeah, Brandon, check it out, man. I just like completely leaked the entire album.
yeah. It's gonna be a full length again?
Yeah, yeah, totally, man.
Okay, nice. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but how's things going with Razor Eater?
Oh, things are good, man. It's a little quieter with releases. January is a little quiet here and there. I was kind of underwhelmed like the first couple of weeks. Usually there's a flow of good stuff, I feel like, but then it's been pretty sparse until we're talking on the 7th. Mayhem just put out their new album, which I've gotten a few listens in, and it's fucking awesome,
Wait,
I
it's
think.
out. The new Mayhem
Yeah,
is out.
yeah,
Okay.
Liturgy is out. Yeah,
All right. All right. I
Liturgy of
got
Death. Yeah,
okay. It came out what, yesterday or something like
yesterday.
that?
Yeah,
All right.
yeah,
Yeah, I missed that.
yeah.
All right. Yeah. All right. So
It's a
that
good continuation of where Demon kind of was. Um, Attila, he's the vocal king.
yeah,
Um, he does some like there's even like some operatic kind of sounding stuff in it.
nice.
There's some there. It's really it's as a cohesive record. I think it's awesome. It really is.
Yeah. That record and the Ruins of Beverast record so far have you checked that one out?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I've had a few
I'm
listens
sure.
of that.
Yeah, I'm sure yeah. That's
Oh, it's
that
really good.
I was like, damn, like that came out like because I did the 2025 was completely done by the time I put my final list together because I've been
Yeah,
I was doing like a running list throughout the year.
yeah,
And I was like, damn, if this would come out like a few weeks earlier in 2025, that would have been in my top six, probably
yeah. I think
top
so
five.
too.
It would have been in that top half of the top 10, I think, for sure.
Yeah, and I think it was kind of like, of course, you and I and our friends in our circle and stuff like that knew about it, but like, I feel like it's kind of gone under the radar a little bit. I haven't seen very many, like, a lot of talk about it.
It's interesting that you bring this up because before we started recording, we were talking about how certain things slip by unless you're channeled into certain stuff. Like, for example, how did I not know the new Mayhem came out yesterday? They're like one of my favorite bands. Yet you can easily not know these things unless
Yep.
you're like listening to the right people or looking at the right things,
Yeah.
you know?
No, exactly.
And Beverast, like, is as legendary as that band is, it's like it's odd that, back in the old days, everyone there was like only a few channels that would talk about things and
Yeah.
everyone checked that out. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And those major channels are becoming more and more irrelevant, I think, as time goes on, and things are becoming really focused within, these very narrow sort of strata. So like if you don't check the right places, things might just like slip right by, and no one's really paying attention to promotion anymore. It's like, they're on, I think they're on like Century Media or something like that, like a big label.
Ruins? God, I actually don't remember.
Yeah, I'm probably getting it
I can't
wrong,
even
but I
remember.
think they're on like one of the larger metal labels.
Yeah,
So
definitely. Yeah, for sure.
yeah,
And I
and
think I think the time of year, like putting it out, I think it was like the first or second week of January they put
yeah,
it out.
dude, that's
People
a rough
are,
time.
it is, yeah,
Yeah. But it's like I just remember like back years ago before all the streaming stuff, like, labels like Roadrunner and, Earache put out records and everyone knew about it because there was only a small number of places to look for this news.
yeah, exactly.
But if you don't follow like, your channel or listen to Into the Necrosphere or like you're just not
It's
going to know
true,
about
yeah.
shit, you know what I mean?
No, it's true.
Because no one
You
no
gotta
one
follow,
fucking yeah.
those online publications, and you gotta, a smaller thing like mine, or you follow Jackie's podcast. Even, I mean, everything went black. Like you talk about a lot of cool bands that I probably wouldn't have known about unless you showcased them.
Yeah, I
So
try to stay out of them. I try to keep like, lately in the last several years, ever since we started all kind of working together, I was like, all right, Jackie's got the extreme music stuff down, and
yeah,
I'm
for
not
sure.
gonna, I don't want to have like the same people like on my show that he has on his. So it's like I started just doing other things. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But yeah, I like to think that the people that I invite to come on as guests are interesting and like might not be like household names for some people.
no, I dig it, and yeah, like I know when you do talk to some extreme metal guys, but like you've had guys like members of Dry Wedding and bands like that on. Like you've turned me on to a lot of cool things. I think that's awesome.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
Carrion Empire is probably the biggest, the best, one of the best like under listened to bands ever. So
Yeah.
I've had that dude on a while ago, and have you checked that out, Carrion Empire?
No, I haven't. I wish I had a piece of paper next to me, but you'll have to. I'll
I'll
message you.
send you a
I'll just.
link.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Sounds good. Yeah.
yeah, totally. And that dude was in Murder Bait, and that was like the band that I heard about through Ralph actually.
Yeah.
See, and then as a result of that, I met up with those guys out in Portland a couple of years ago. We were out there with Origin, and then we've been staying in touch, and then he's like, "Oh, I have a new thing out. It's called Carrion Empire," and I
Oh,
was like,
nice. Yeah.
and it's like a for whatever reason, for whatever reason, Murder Bait stopped, and then Carrion Empire kind of picked up from where they left off, I guess. And to
Yeah.
me, both bands could be the same thing. I know like if they would probably have a different opinion about that, obviously, but it's like to me, it's like the Carrion Empire record could be the next Murder Bait record,
Okay.
but
Gotcha. Yeah.
for whatever internal reasons they decided that's, not the case. So
I like the name too.
yeah, dude. And
Yeah.
it's like all the things that you like are in that band. It's like it has a dark, element to it, and it just sounds like emotionally heavy, and it's like
Yeah.
a lot of cool like instrumentation and stuff. It's like other keyboards and ambient stuff. It's like really cool.
I'm saving them after this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But kind of contingent to what we were saying before is like we both have the Darvaza record in there, and I literally only found out about them in December.
Which is when the record came out
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Yeah.
And how
So
did I
I
not
went
know
by the
about a band like
wayside.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah, and great bands like that, and that's the thing. It's like one of the best things about Razor Eater Metal and like Into the Necrosphere is like even for me, like even just following Jackie's podcast, I discovered tons of bands, that
Yeah.
I never even would hear about because just the major outlets don't cover that shit. They don't like you're not going to read about any of these bands really in Decibel or something like that. You know what I mean?
No, exactly.
Or
They're
Revolver.
Darvaza, I would say, are probably going to be like the black metal band within the next few years. They're making, I wouldn't even say they're making a splash. They're like exploding on the scene, I think. They're live. I would love to see them live personally. I know I've seen video clips, pro shot clips and stuff like that. And it looks like one of the most intense experiences you could ever see for a black metal show too.
Yeah, dude, I'm glad I'm glad I'm in on it now, honestly, because
Yeah,
then now
yeah.
it's like when they become massive, I could be like, oh yeah, man, I was
I was an OG,
I was an
bro.
OG. Yeah,
Maybe get onto a show with them too. Have tombs open for Darvaza. That would be sick.
we're being very we're not I don't see us really doing these long ass tours anymore, to be honest.
No, I
Like
got you.
yeah,
Hey,
it's
yeah, yeah,
unless it's like something really really on like you cannot say no to,
yeah, yeah,
um or like if we play out west, it's going to be like 5 shows out there, or we're going to fly out for it or something like that,
yeah. I got you.
and it's
Yeah.
just like, it's a cost thing, and it's just like a lifetime lifestyle thing too, because like, I just got too much stuff going on at home right now. And I never thought I'd say that, but it's true.
No, I got you, man. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey, as we sip our coffees.
that's right, man.
Oh yes.
Yeah. We both like that Scour record. Mine didn't make it into the top 10 though, but it was in Scour was in my top 10 for I would say 7 months out of the year though.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, it's my album of the year. So,
Yeah.
I'm a Phil Anselmo fanatic. Um, I think everything that he's done is gold, really. Pardon the pun.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the
Sour
name of the album.
gold. But yeah, and I really do think that he hit like this really again he struck gold with the Scour band. I've been on board since the first EP,
Yeah. Yeah. Those EPs are sick.
um, and I think vocally it's some of the strongest stuff that he's ever done too. He's I know he's cleaned his act up a bunch. He's from what I know and I've read, he's sober now. Um, and it shows. You can see the guy's lost weight. You can see he's in the face. I remember when I met him and he was still drinking. He had this kind of a bloat to him,
Alcohol will
for
do
lack
that
of
to you.
yeah, yeah. And now you can see like as he's aged a bit, um, he's really honed in on his health, and I think vocally it shows
Yeah. Oh,
on
totally.
especially on this new Scour.
Once again, he's like an inspiration, really, because like I remember years ago when Triptychon came out,
Yeah,
people were like, well, why didn't he just continue as Celtic Frost, even though Martin passed? You know what I mean?
yeah,
And
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, oh, it's crazy. The guy's in his 50s. He's starting a new band. That was like when Triptychon came out, people were like, you know, he's 50 something years old. So why is he starting a new project? But like, it's, fucking Triptychon rules. And then Phil, a dude who's in his 50s, basically started a new band with Scour,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it's like
exactly.
some of his, I think some of his best work, man.
Yeah, I agree. And he was, I know, like he's done the black metal thing before with like Viking Crown with Killjoy,
Yeah.
but I think this is even more like fleshed out. Derek Engelman on guitar is a crazy musician and
Yeah.
writer. Adam Jarvis on
Oh,
drums
dude,
is a
forget
beast.
about Adam
Yeah,
Jarvis on drums, man. Definitely, dude.
you know
Yeah.
Adam, right? Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I know Adam
yeah,
really well. Yeah.
yeah. He's an absolute beast. I think the whole lineup is just it lends itself, and then when you have such capable musicians, I think Phil had an absolute blast with his lyrics and his vocals. So, and it shows.
One of the things I like about it too, where like his other forays into black metal have been more derivative in some ways. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I know what you
we're
mean. Yeah,
doing a black metal thing, and this is what it sounds like, right?
yeah,
So, but with Scour, it sounds more like American black metal. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like USBM. And it sounds very regional too, if you know what I mean. Like it
yeah. I know what you
sounds
mean. Yeah,
like all those bands. I know that Adam and like Phil is from that area, right?
yeah,
Adam lives up in the DC area, but my impression of like what Phil does is like he's almost like Danzig, where he has the ideas of the songs really, and then the other
Yeah,
guys
I
are,
agree. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So all those bands from New Orleans, like there's like a sound that they have,
yeah,
and there's like you can tell the influences of all the different things, like death metal, black metal, like Sabbath, all that
yeah,
sort of stuff. Like
yeah.
there's like a bluesy thing in there. And Scour really is. It's like Scour and Goat have those elements. You know what I'm trying to say?
Oh, yeah, exactly. I
Like they
agree.
don't sound the same, but there's like that you get like a sense of this like energy that those both of those bands have.
Yep.
And man, fuck, I would love to see Scour live, dude.
I know. I wish they played live more. I wish they toured a little bit more.
Yeah, dude, that would be so good. You know,
Yeah. I
and
know. I know. Derek is like he's a full-fledged like tattoo artist now too.
yeah,
Um, and he's filled in for countless people, but like I don't know if it's because of like a work thing or Phil's schedule himself. Like I don't know. Like all the other bands I know are super busy too, but I wish they would take some time and do like a full-fledged, Scour tour. That'd be so cool.
is one of those dudes in the was one of those guys in the Illegals with Phil?
Derek
Yeah,
was,
okay,
or
yeah,
he is, or he is. I
yeah.
guess illegals are still
Yeah, they're
they're
still.
still
I
a
can see
band.
them putting a record out
Yeah,
like next month or something like that. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Oh
yeah,
yeah, new
yeah.
illegals record. Yeah,
Probably, yeah, yeah, yeah. Knowing the output that those guys just have, it's crazy. So it wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, Derek took over for bass for the illegals. Um, I want to say that the original bassist in Scour was in the illegals as well,
yeah,
something like that. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. We played
They're
with those
all
guys actually, man, in Pontiac, Michigan.
were the illegals.
Yeah, yeah. It was
Oh,
there was a
nice. Oh, sick.
festival like a housecore thing up there,
Oh, sick. Yeah.
and yeah, it was they were fucking awesome. Like half of the set was like a lot of the set was Pantera songs, but
Yeah, because he was doing that vulgar display of Pantera,
yep, yeah.
yeah, tour.
But he said he did like Broken and all this other stuff. Like,
That's
but with
killer.
with that
Yeah,
lineup though, with the Illegals lineup,
they're a killer lineup. Yeah, they're a
ah,
killer band.
dude, so good, man. And
Mike DeLeon on guitar, he's awesome.
yeah, I have a copy of the album too, man, and
Yep.
and once again, it's that thing. It's like you listen to it, and it's like death metal, black metal. There's like almost like a Soylent Green kind of vibe to some of the songs,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that's what that whole that whole scene down there is one of my favorite scenes because of that. Like all those bands, like throughout the years, we've toured with almost all those bands, like I Hate God and like
Yeah. Yeah.
Crowbar and Goat Horror and all these bands. So I got to spend a lot of time with those dudes, and it's like the you know, there's such like a sound that you just cannot imitate it, and it's mainly because I think all those guys are like playing together. Like Phil and Kirk were in a band. It's like
Oh yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
That
Sammy.
Nola sound. Yeah.
Yeah, and
It's
that's
it
the
can't
thing
be
about
replicated
Scour.
anywhere else. Yeah.
Scour's like this like refined version of that stuff.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, see now I'm second guessing the fact that I don't have this in my top 10. Now I'm thinking about this record,
Sorry to torch you, Mike. It's all good.
man. Another band that I haven't heard of is Caustic Wound, man.
Plastic Wound. They're I think they're I haven't really like done my proper research on them, but I think they're a collective of musicians from other death metal bands, and then they
Okay.
came together. So Caustic Wound, they're like it's death metal, but it's more closer to like the death grind, gore grind
Okay. Yeah.
kind of side of things. Super extreme, super blistering and fast. Almost I won't say toilet bowl vocals, but but like yeah, really like low aggressive vocals, and it's just relentless. I really love that record.
See, the only kind of grindcore I like is like the death grind stuff. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? Like I find like when people say grindcore, it's like, I think of like Napalm Death and,
yeah, of course, yeah.
but that's really not the entirety of the scene, if you know what I mean.
No, for sure, yeah,
Yeah, it's like if you say I'm going to see a grindcore show, you can be saying like, oh, I'm gonna go see Napalm Death, or I'm gonna see like a bunch of dudes in short shorts with like mustaches playing. You know what I mean?
exactly.
And that's not the kind of type of grindcore that I like.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, porno grind or, gore grind or whatever the fuck, There's so many little, I didn't realize that there were so many offshoots of it at first too.
Yeah.
But then, you go down the rabbit hole sometimes, you're like, holy shit. And you're not even joking. The dudes in short shorts with mustache.
Yeah.
It's
Like,
for real.
yeah, like, Phobia is another grind band I love,
Yeah, Phobia Killer. Yeah.
yeah, Insect Warfare is sick, I know that those guys have like some controversy around it, but they're still a great band.
If you like Insect Warfare, you would like that Terror Corpse album. Because
Okay.
I think one of the members used to be in Insect Warfare, and then it's Christian from Necrofire is
Oh,
on
cool.
bass
Right on.
and backing vocals. Yeah,
Oh, nice. That dude does a lot of shit, man.
he does, and he's got the new Necrofire coming out, and then he's Hell's Heroes is one of the best lineups he's ever lined up this year. It
Nice.
looks like, yeah. So,
Yeah, Rotten Sound's another band I love. Feeling
oh
Finish,
yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Grind.
wish they didn't put out an EP last year. It was too short.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like 5 minutes.
Dude, one of the times I saw them play at ABC No Rio in New York City one time,
Yeah.
which is like a
Oh, that's
DIY.
awesome.
You could fit like maybe 80 people there. It was
Oh,
like
wow.
I want to say Phobia was on the tour on that. I think they were touring. I want to say Phobia was on that bill. And Rotten Sound, like usually when you play at ABC No Rio, you sound like shit because it's like there's
Okay,
no
yeah,
real PA there. But it's not you're not going there because of the sound system. It's like
yeah, yeah.
it's a cool like underground venue that doesn't exist anymore right now. So
Gotcha. Yeah.
unfortunately, but like Rotten Sound came out and it sounded like they were playing in a fucking Coliseum, man. It was like
Oh shit, that's
I don't
awesome.
know how, but you heard every little detail of their music, like the drums and everything was so pristine. I was like, how the fuck do these guys sound this good here?
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I
like
love it. I love it when things like that happen.
yeah,
You're
maybe it was
used
a
to
mistake. Maybe it was by mistake it sounded like that, but it was awesome though.
that's killer. Yeah, because I'm sure you remember the venue Mavericks in Ottawa.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, I've seen some stinker sounding shows there, and then I remember I saw Death Angel there, and they
Oh hell
sounded
yeah,
like that.
dude.
They
Yeah.
sounded like that. It was pristine, and I'm like, how is this place sounding like this right now? When I've seen so many other shows here, and you go for the show and you try to make the best of it. The sound, there was a lot of sound issues in that place, and then Death Angel was like they revamped it. It was crazy.
I think you know what, honestly, a lot of it has to do, and I learned this over the years too, is not playing so loud on stage, you know?
Hmm.
Like you don't want to overpower the front of house with your stack of amplifiers.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And like because I used to when I was a lot younger, I was wanted to be like Kerry King with like all these fucking cabinets behind me and shit. So I had full stack and two heads and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And now I only play through a half stack. That's it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember seeing
Yeah,
your
just
rig.
because
Yeah.
you have a PA, like you're not playing in someone's basement. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's really the key to sounding good on a even on like kind of like a mid-level like sound system is not cranking your amp so loud on stage because it ends up
It makes all
phasing.
the difference. Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of bands like good friends of mine. I saw them. I'm not going to name their names because they're fairly popular bands, but I think they learned over the years. And I saw them play at North Six, like this venue in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Everyone sounded great except for them
Oh shit.
because they loaded this fucking gigantic rig on stage, like two bass cabinets, like two heads, like fucking four Marshall cabs, and like head all these heads, and they just cranked everything so fucking loud that it overpowered
Yeah.
the PA system, and it sounded like just like a mess.
Yeah. Was it was
Buried,
it was
buried
it
the
a bigger
drums.
venue?
It was like maybe
Like a
400
mid-size?
people,
Yeah.
so it wasn't like massive, but it was like
Yeah. You gotta feel out the room too.
yeah, it was big enough where you benefit from having a good sounding sound system.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's kind of like you know, learned that the hard way over the years though, turned down on stage.
Yeah, yeah. No, because I've seen my fair share where I'm like, oh my God, I can't even hear the vocals sound almost like a moan almost because
Yeah.
it's things are just feeding back. And then your ears end up just naturally they just ring because they can't handle it.
Yeah,
And then
totally.
everything sounds like shit, right? So
Yeah. That's yeah, like I learned just on stage, just loud enough where if I need to get feedback, that's it. Like I don't crank shit on stage, and I use monitors, and you just learn how to do that shit over the years. You know.
Yeah, because when you guys played that venue, the Brass Monkey, it sounded good. It really did.
Thank you. You know.
And that's not an easy room to sound good in. I've seen some shittier sounding shows there to where I don't think it was either the sound guy issue or again, like people are just they were doing too much on the stage themselves. You guys were dialed in.
Usually that's the case, I think.
Yeah,
Like my opinion is like usually it's everyone just wants to they don't want to turn their amps down, and then phases with it's because it's out of phase with what's coming out of the speakers and the PA system.
yeah,
And it
yeah,
kind of creates like negative interference with sound waves and all that sort of
yeah,
stuff.
exactly.
Yeah.
Sadly, that venue's closed now too.
Oh, really? I had
It's
fun
shut
there,
down,
man.
man.
That was a
Yeah,
cool
no, it's a
spot.
great venue. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, backed rent,
Oh, dude,
backed
really?
rent. Yeah, I guess that it was it was like a strip mall, right? So I guess it
Yeah.
was under a new landlord, and there was a bunch of back rent
Oh
because
no.
there was a Reddit post I saw that circulated around over 50 grand in back rent,
Jesus,
and
man.
the owner couldn't keep up, and
Yeah.
it just, unfortunately got shut down.
Once you get into a hole like that, I imagine it's hard to dig yourself out.
Oh yeah, yeah. It was a bummer too because it was a nice. It wasn't as deep in the city for for a guy like me to like go see a show.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, you could park there. That's the thing about like venues that are
that
in
too.
in
Yeah,
in cities, like parking's always a drag.
yeah, yeah. So as far as like smaller venues go, like that was one of the better ones. I mean, not even smaller. It was a good size. I think it was a 400 or 500 cap room.
Yeah.
We don't really have that now. There's this place called Overflow Brewing that I saw. I went with a friend of mine. We saw Incantation there.
Oh, nice.
It was beginning of 2024, and a bigger venue and like really good sound. So I think that's going to be the new spot for bands to come and tour for.
I feel like for metal bands that draw like 200 people to 400 people, like the brewery setup is the way to go. It seems like that's like a thing now, at least
Yeah, it's
down here in
killer.
the
Yeah,
States.
yeah.
Yeah, like we haven't announced it yet, but we got something coming up in a brewery in Asbury Park in the
Oh, nice.
summertime,
Yeah,
and it's like so many places, like and then last year it was like we were doing all these like brewery shows with these like sick like metal lineups, and it was like, I feel like craft beer and metal go hand in hand,
of
because
course. Yeah,
with the artwork, like people get really creative with the artwork on the cans and everything. It's a lot of it's like evil looking skulls and
yeah.
shit like that.
Exactly.
And
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like once over the last few years, like we'd started playing at shows that they would contact our booking agent about us playing there, and it was like, oh cool. And then because who doesn't like a nice craft beer? You know what I mean?
Of
And
course.
then you find out that the people that are brewing all this brewers are like a lot of dudes who like this kind of music, and it's
Exactly.
cool.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, we want to do a collab with you guys. And then that's how all the collabs started with like, the Tombs like
Which is killer. Yeah, yeah,
yeah. And then they were, they would invite us to come down and play. It was one of them invited us to play in like Florida, and I was like, well, we can't just like drive. Well, we would have to be
yeah,
part
yeah,
of a
yeah,
tour, you know what I mean,
yeah,
or fly us in or something like that.
yeah.
But yeah, I think that's a great because if you think about it, it's like they probably make mad amounts of money just by being a brewery. You know what I mean?
Yeah. As far as I know, this place in particular is it's like a sit. You can sit down like during the day, and
Yeah,
then when a show's booked, they just clear it out at night,
yeah.
clear out the chairs, and boom, you got your venue ready to go. And it's a killer sound system too. Yeah, I only saw that one show there, but it sounds like that's going to be like the place for bigger tours
Yeah,
when they're
see, that's
coming through
cool.
an area like here.
Yeah,
So
that's awesome, man. That's
yeah,
like yeah, it's a comfortable setup too. And then usually it's like, for like a smaller like a tour that's like playing at maybe 400 to 200 cap rooms, the budget for like hospitality is usually pretty low. So it's
yeah, I
like
got you.
getting
Yeah.
they make food at the venue, it's cost effective for them to feed you well too,
Oh,
as opposed
exactly.
to like,
Yeah,
oh, here's your meal buyout or here's catering or whatever. When there's only, the room only holds like 400 people. If you have like a
yeah,
band, like a tour package coming through with like three bands on it, just the hospitality can start getting expensive, and
Exactly. Yeah.
harder to make money that way.
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah, that's great. I'm all for it. having
Yeah.
shows at
Hopefully,
breweries.
hopefully we get to see you guys there. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
hey, this year we got some stuff lined up. We just announced those dates, and
Yeah.
but yeah, hopefully the summertime will be a little bit more busy. But that's how it is.
Yeah. Hopefully, man. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. One of the records that we both had on our list was the Paradise Lost Ascension record. That was my
Yeah.
number two, and that was your number three. And that's
Yeah.
like, uh, you know, what for me a surprise because I am a fan of Paradise Lost, but I'm not like a disciple of that band like some people are. Like some people are like love that band to the end. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah.
And I like them. I love their early material. Like Gothic, I think, is a classic record in that genre.
Hmm.
But the new Ascension, I have not been able to stop listening to that fucking record, man.
There really is something about it, um, from start to finish where it's yeah. There's obviously I have my favorite tracks on it, but I think you can put it on and kind of just get lost in it. There's something about the songwriting and a song like I think the perfect example of that Tyrant Serenade song when it goes into the chorus and Nick's
Yeah,
voice is just it's brilliant. The songwriting is just next level on this one.
yeah, yeah. I think it's their finest work in years, man. And
Yeah,
it's once again, it's inspiring because these guys have been around for decades, at this
yeah,
point.
yeah.
And it's good to hear like fresh, something that sounds fresh, and something very like energetic and rejuvenated and yeah, it's just really inspiring to hear that record. And
And I'm like you, I'm not like a Paradise Lost disciple, but I enjoy their stuff. And in comparison to the last one, like this one is like it's like night and day almost. Like the previous one, I enjoyed it. I don't think I've ever hated a Paradise Lost record.
no,
Um, even their more divisive records, I'm a fan of, like Symbol of Salvation and Host. Um, but like the previous one to this one, it's another level, I think. The
yeah,
guitars, the riffs, and like something about Nick's voice on this one is just it's haunting, but in like
yeah.
this beautiful way.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah,
And just like you mentioned the songwriting, like I like all the different there's all these different textures and bridges and breakdowns in the songs that really work for me.
yeah,
And there's also like this very subtle like just like heavy metal like sound to some of it too. Like
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
the song with the acoustic guitar, like that ballady song. I forgot the
yeah.
name of that one, but that one it could be like a Led Zeppelin song or something, you know what I
I know
mean?
what you mean. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and that, being like an older guy, like heavy metal and like Led Zeppelin and that stuff is like very dear to my heart when I hear
of course.
certain
Yeah,
types of guitar solos and things like that, make me think of like, like the Scorpions and, all those bands.
yeah, yeah. Um, I think that's one of the things that drew me in about it right away
Yeah.
is the musicianship, and it sounded like um, the guitars are just like soaring on these tracks. Like even when if they pick up or if they're doing the signature Paradise Lost like the slow crushing stuff too. There's not a moment where I feel like anything lets up. Um, and every song I think has something memorable about it, be it a refrain, a chorus, or even just like a certain breakdown and or change in tempo too. There's something important in every song, and I think that's what makes it so strong.
And you mentioned Tyrant Serenade and like that's sounds like straight up like almost like a typo negative song kind of.
Yeah, it's so grand. I remember shout out to KR from Obsidian Shrine. We're friends on Facebook, and he's like, I think I've listened to this record like a million times this
Yeah.
year. He posted it was his number one on Spotify and most listened to. He's like, I don't know why I can't stop listening to it, but it's incredible. And sometimes that's also cool too. Like you like maybe you can explain why you like it so much, but you know,
It takes me like 40 minutes to get to band practice, and like
yeah,
the last couple of practices, this has been the record I listened to on the way down there, man.
yeah.
Definitely, yeah,
It's brilliant. Yeah,
yeah. That that Serpent on the Cross, like the opener on that is like right away that just was like
It grabs you. Yeah.
it's just the guitar work on it and the melodic. It's melodic, but like almost in this kind of like Swedish hardcore way, if that makes any sense. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it has almost a little bit of that. I hate to say it, but like kind of like almost like a D beat sort of vibe to it in a weird way.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, am
Yeah. I
I
know
out
what
of
you
my
mean. Yeah.
mind for saying that? But it's like there is like a little bit of like a Swedish hardcore thing going on in it.
Yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, because those guys like they have like that melody, melodic sort of thing, and I don't know. Like it's like a lot of random thoughts came to my head when I listened to that because like the Swedes and then also like Japanese like Burning Spirit style like Death Side. They have like the soaring like guitar solos and everything.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if that
Yeah.
even enters into these guys' heads when they wrote that song, but there are strains of that in there, for me, and I like a lot of that stuff.
I think with Nick's and Greg's their death metal uh, other projects. Nick being the singer of Bloodbath,
Yeah,
Greg's got Strigaway
straight
and
away.
Valenfire.
Yep.
I think that played a role in this too. I hear some of that in there. That there's definitely some. It might not be like at the forefront like a full on death metal, but there's definitely that influence there too.
Yeah.
Because there's some moments on the album that are just crushing.
What an interesting band, man. Because like, they way in the beginning, if you think about how they started out, like on those early demos to like what they sound like now, it's like such a huge like trajectory of, just like evolution with them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, love it.
Well, dude, thanks for joining us this week. If you want to give a bunch of links and stuff where people can find all your stuff, of course, there's Razor Reader Metal on Instagram, and then
Yep.
for the various bands and things like that.
So yeah, Razor Reader Metal on Instagram, all one word. Xezbeth Blackened Noise. You can find the Xezbeth stuff. Chestburster Gore if you're into the gore noise. And I'm posting about like Solipsis and stuff like that just on the Razor stuff. I share it on the respected pages too, but that's more. I haven't created a page on its own yet for that, but I plan on working that on that this year. So
Cool. And
yeah,
that's all these materials available on Bandcamp too, right?
it's all on Bandcamp. Yep,
Okay.
yep.
Right on. Yeah. Sick, man. Thanks a lot for joining us, man.
Cheers, man. Thanks, Mike.